Yo, I just came back from seeing Antman and the Wasp Quantamania. And let me see, Tyrone Magnus, Angry Joe, other YouTuber movie reviewers, Rotten Tomatoes, everybody pretty much been saying the same thing. Um, it's not that good, it's not bad, and it's not great. And everyone's basically taking turns, not taking turns, but the popular thing now is to say everyone wants Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame levels of entertainment. Movies are supposed to get better, not worse. And everyone's been upset and let down because, again, everyone is used to Captain America, Thor, RDJ, Iron Man, Agents of Shield, all Phase One, Phase Two, and Phase Three. Everyone's used to those first three phases, and for me, it's like I just go to the movies. I'm not a critic. I don't know nothing about lighting. I don't know nothing about writing from start to finish a film or a story, coherent and it makes sense. I go to a movie and I just want to be entertained. And I just want a good story. I just want to, be transported to another, someplace else, out of my headspace. I think that's the purpose of entertainment, right? To waste your time, to trick you into wasting your time in a way. Because, we can all be studying, working out, forming like lasting relationships that actually matter, not the imaginary relationships that really don't matter at the end of the day. Giving these people all our money, just for a laugh or a sigh or a cry or some sort of emotional response that we wouldn't otherwise get because we're so numb by caffeine and antidepressants. But that's a whole nother topic. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Yeah, I liked it. Then again, whenever I spend money and go to the movies, I typically like what I spent my money on. I got what I paid for. Although where I'm at, it's a little bit more expensive. Anywho, that's neither here nor there. The point is, I'm not okay. I'm not excited about the movie. It's not like when the first Black Panther came out, or what was it, the second, really the last Spider-Man, and maybe the second Spider-Man. No, the second Spider-Man, I really didn't like it too much. It was more so the last one. But it was better than Wakanda Forever, sadly. But at the same time, R.I.P. to Chadwick Boseman. That was my boy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just a funny spot to be in. It doesn't really feel like it's starting anything. Even the movie itself was supposed to be the beginning of the Kang Dynasty, Kang War, whatever. It felt more like the first Guardians, But the first Guardians was good, like really, really good. But the tone of it was like the first Guardians, So it's like you have this wacky adventure, and then by the end of it, Thanos is like, "I'll do it myself." Was that the first Guardian? Yeah, that was the first Guardians. No, was it the first Guardians? No. That was, I'm thinking about Avengers when Thanos pops up for the very first time in cinematic history, and he's like, "I'll do it myself." But with Kang, it's like they kind of misplayed him. You know what I'm saying? Because they made him like. Was the threat there? Yes, the threat was there. A lot of people were saying, well, I didn't feel like Kang was too threatening. I felt like he was a villain of the week, type of villain, not a big villain. He's not Thanos level. And then by the end of the movie, you see he can potentially be Thanos level. You know what I'm saying? Just like in Loki, at the end of Loki, it was like, yeah, man, reincarnation. You're gonna meet the other versions of me, and they're way worse than I am, and I think it's just gonna be a gradual progression of how um, how bad or how menacing Kane can, a version of Kane can be. Because this version of Kane was pretty menacing, and honestly, if you, I mean, people are upset. It's like, dang, I wanted, Kane. I wanted to like fear Kane. I wanted to be like, I want Kane. I want to feel nervous with Kane. The way he was taken out at the end of the film. I mean, if you really look at it, they were lucky. They really didn't like overpower Kane. They were lucky. They barely won, and they were lucky. They were just lucky, and that's Ant-Man's character. He's just lucky. He's a quirky, lucky character. He's not Captain America. He never has a plan. He bumbles through all his misadventures. Even Civil War, he's a bumbler. He accidentally, wins. He's not someone that really strategizes and comes out on top. He's more so, I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up, and I'm gonna wait for you to make a mistake. He's good at capitalizing off of mistakes, and usually the mistake is people underestimating him. And again, I think the point of the movie is you got to look out for the little guy. Yeah, you got to look out for the little guys and take care of the little guy, help people, and you also got to look out for the little guy because you're 9 times out of 10 you're not gonna see him coming. It's like a double entendre. It's like a double meaning statement thing. And Kane wasn't looking out for the little guy. He underestimated everyone. He's cocky. He was arrogant, and at the end of it, he got. But at the same time, you ain't gonna win all them fights. Now you're a conqueror. Just because you win, just because you won this battle, you didn't necessarily win the war. You know what I'm saying? And the point of like this ending is like, it's not over. It's not over. It's definitely not over. Like something worse is coming. And they keep foreshadowing it. You know what I'm saying? If anything, and then you saw, and they kind of hinted at it, and this may be a spoiler, for the first stinger, but you see a version of Kang amongst the other Kangs. You see several versions of that Kang wearing the same armor. And it's almost like, like he may not have been like the Kang, you know what I'm saying? He may have been just a foot soldier. And now imagine, and I'm probably overthinking it, but he may have just been a foot soldier that got a little too big for his britches, and that's why he was banished. Or maybe, he wasn't necessarily exiled, or maybe he tried to like steal. I don't know. I'm just saying, to me, I'm just starting to get the feeling that this Kang the Conqueror wasn't necessarily the strongest Kang, is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Because from Michelle Pfeiffer's, sexy as de-aged Michelle Pfeiffer. Damn, son. Damn. Makes me want her to show up as like Michael Keaton's Catwoman. Michael Keaton's Catwoman. Just kind of bring that back, pay that off in the upcoming Flash movie. To see her de-aged, or no, that wouldn't make any sense. Or just seeing a de-aged Michael Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer, and maybe, I don't know, in the cat suit, in the original OG Batman Returns cat suit, along with the OG 80 something 1980s Tim Burton bat suit. Matter of fact, all the ladies in the movie was thick. Like Hope Van Dyne was thick. They had to put those angles in there. Cassie, how old is she now? She looks like grown. Like she's obviously the actress is obviously an adult woman, and she's definitely not the little child actor they had in the first one, and she's not even the actress. Is that the same actress in the in game? You know, when he came back after a 5 year time skip or whatever. I mean, she seems like she's grown. If she's like getting in trouble with the police and they're putting her in like regular jail, she has to be an adult, like a young adult. And honestly, I see her leading the young Avengers, not just being what you call it, a side character. So it'd be like, I mean, so far we have her, we have like young T'Challa, we have Hawkeye, or the other Hawkeye, the new Hawkeye, Kate Bishop. Like, she's too old to be a young Avenger. She's in college, so, or she should be in college. And I think they hinted at Cassie like being like, what do you call it, a part of the, I think she likes girls basically. So I think they hinted at her liking girls. So she may actually end up fangirling after Kate Bishop, and they may like have a relationship or whatever. Down the line, I could see that happening. Then we have Camilla Khan. We have like the younger Marvel, Miss Marvel or whatever her name is. And then yeah, I'm not excited for Young Avengers. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm just spitballing, thinking, what could possibly be Kevin Feige thinking, because their bread and butter is the younger audiences, although their main audience is adult. So that's why they're probably starting to make more adult content, like, Werewolf by Night and stuff like, that's a little edgier, darker. You got Blade coming out, you got Spider-Man coming out. Spider-Man has always been younger audiences. That's why they kept rebooting it. You have your hooks in. All you gotta do is deliver. And if you keep doing this MCU Phase 4, you're gonna lose a lot of viewerships, and Disney Plus is gonna lose a lot of. It's gonna go the way of Warner Brothers, and they're gonna start rebooting and rebooting and rebooting and it's like, no, don't do it, Marvel, don't do it. Don't get nervous, don't get snippy. Do your thing. We believe in you. You've been entertaining us for years, and you'll be entertaining us for years to come. So yeah, well, long story less long. I mean, I like Antman and the Wasp, Quantamania. I don't feel like I wasted my money. I don't know. I know Tyrone Magnus was like disappointed, and I think maybe a lot of it is, you build it up in your head, because again, this is the first, like, one of the quote, main Avengers coming back in his own movie, end quote, and he's not really a main Avenger, even though he calls himself a main Avenger, just because he was in the Avengers, and they call him an Avenger. He's not really an Avenger to me. The Avengers to me are Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, and the Hulk. So, and then everyone else is just like a B character. And then you got Black Widow and Hawkeye, and that's kind of just there. I mean, nothing against like Hawkeye. Like, Hawkeye's my dude. Widow's my girl, but at the same time, it's like they're not the Avengers, they're not the superpowered Avengers. They're not the idea that Nick Fury had in mind. He had in mind people on the level of Captain Marvel. When he started the initiative, Hawkeye and Widow were just agents at the end of the day, and they just tagged along on missions. But the main core team are those four. Everybody else are side characters. Then they started, the MCU just started throwing in everybody else, because everyone else had movies that they were trying to sell. Let's be honest. You had Black Panther in there, just because Black Panther 2 was coming out. They threw him in there. You know what I'm saying? You had Spider-Man in there because, hey, Sony's like, hey man, you gotta have our Spider-Man in your movie. we need to sell these tickets for our franchise or whatever. And I think who else did they add? The Guardians. The Guardians were in there or not in there at the same time. I mean, they're not Avengers. They're the Guardians of the Galaxy. They were just there because of the connections to the plot devices, the Infinity Stones. So Ant-Man was just there to be there. He's a MacGuffin, so we gotta get him in there because he was in the Civil War with Captain America, and also we're trying to push Ant-Man 2. You need to watch Ant-Man 2 to see to understand how he fits into the whole dynamic, and we're gonna use him as a plot device in Infinity War. This is how they're gonna get out of the situation, So again, yeah, he may have been christened as an Avenger story-wise, but he's not an actual Avenger, and no one's gonna change my mind. And it's just funny that he keeps walking around like, yeah, I was an Avenger, and it's funny to me because honestly, I do the same thing. Yeah, I was an Avenger. I was there. I was in the the crap, the poop, But am I an Avenger? No, I'm not. I'm not an Avenger. I was just lucky enough to ride on the bus with the cool kids. So that's my review. Not review, but I'm just saying, like, hey, it's like, don't feel bad for wanting to go see the movie. Don't have your reservations. Everything's objective. Just because somebody doesn't like it doesn't necessarily mean you're not gonna enjoy it. Yeah, that's it. If you got $10, I don't know how much movies cost in the States now. Is it $10, $20? Go see the movie, get some popcorn, kick back. Enjoy it. Yeah, I did.